Good day, happy travelers. Vacation travel hacks here, talking about the 8-day Southern Caribbean cruise on board the Carnival Horizon. Stops in Aruba, La Romana, Curacao, and Amber Cove, departing from Miami. If you're here, you are either booked on this cruise and you are excited for tips and tricks to board it, what's available for free at ports of call, and an overview of some paid excursion options. And we'd also like to give some tips on how to get home, best practices for that. If you're not booked on this cruise, you're watching this because you're thinking about booking a cruise. And sometimes it's always fun to scout ahead just to see what's available. So let's hop into it. This cruise leaves from the Port of Miami. The Port of Miami's in this big picture here. I brought it out to show how close you are to Miami International Airport. There's some hotels around Miami Airport. There's some hotels around South Beach. And in terms of arriving, when should I arrive, how early, we actually recommend arriving at least a day before the cruise takes off. Not necessarily because of how long it takes to get from the airport to the cruise port, but because of all the things that could go wrong in terms of getting you to Miami International Airport. Just in the past year, things that impacted me: pilot staffing issues, air traffic control staffing issues, airline software issues, and then those are all mechanical issues, weather. Those are just the ones that come top of mind. So, if I was, I don't know, it's just more peaceful to get there a day early, and you're getting a day early to Miami. It could be worse. I also want to call out that Miami, Port of Miami, is only 45 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale International Airport. Well, which is worth noting because airfare to Fort Lauderdale tends to be, for us, we save $250 per person flying there versus Miami, and hotels up in Fort Lauderdale were pretty much the same price. The only logistical challenge that we had to overcome was getting from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, which evidently is easy to do because we ran into a company called SAS Transportation, and for $100, 8 of us got transported down to the Port of Miami, and they serviced most of the hotels at Fort Lauderdale. So you can save some money, you can be close, there's no wrong way to cruise, and that's my mantra, and that will get you on the cruise ship. I zoomed in here because it's one other point that I've run into a couple times when leaving out of Miami is I board, normally Horizon will board between, D and F. And when I come back, for 2 times now, I've offboarded somewhere by D and C. And no big deal. I just tell my transportation folks, hey, I'm at this one. Versus what I fill out, before I leave. So if you have someone picking you up, if you park in a parking garage, you might be at a different place, but they do have shuttles, and it's not like a too terrible long walk, between the garages there. All right, let's send you off on your way. So you make 4 stops. One of your stops will be Curacao. And Curacao is all these islands are just fantastic. It's a little bit of a walk, and just a brief, in terms of free excursions, it's a little bit of a walk to kind of, the little town, little touristy, trappy areas. So you can, in terms of free things to do, you can do some shopping, taking some sights. There's little pictures here that you can take for selfies and just taking the town into ambiance. Always a place to grab a bite to eat. Otherwise, expect the beaches to snorkel in. There will be excursions to go, and they will be fantastic. You want to go explore the island, there'll be highlights and stop you off at a beach. You want to hang out with the turtles, and there are turtles. Enough turtles that every time you snorkel, you would expect to see one. And I haven't snorkeled yet where I didn't see one. Maybe you don't want to swim with turtles. Maybe you want to hang out with the ostriches. That's a little different, right? That'd be a little fun. Otherwise, there's for people that want to go to the water, there'll be something to do. For people that never want to set foot in the water, like my dad, he was in the Navy. He's not interested in the least in going to the water. There's also, hey, look at this, an aqua park. My kid loves water slides, and this is a beach and an aqua park. So it's kind of like a buy one, get one, if you will. Otherwise, more snorkeling, more seeing, more shopping, more turtles. any which way to do everything. You're like, hey, I want to be on land, but I don't want to walk. All right, cool. We got a dune buggy. Well, I don't want a dune buggy. I want to be in a vehicle that goes in land and water. Ta-da! Amphibious land and sea adventure. I don't want to be above ground walking around. I want to be underground walking around, but not underwater. Ta-da! A cave. So you name it. There's literally something for everybody. The only people like, hey, I don't want to be in the tropics. I don't know if I'd leave the cruise ship. I'd hang out in the cruise ship then. All right. So that's one of your stops, right? And this is just one of the stops. It's going to be a great day. One of your next stops will be Aruba. And fun. I've been to many islands in the Caribbean in the winter, in the spring, and the summer. And I took this cruise. I was in Aruba for spring break, which is early April. And, my kid was going down the water slide. And I was like, all right, I better go in there just in case something goes wrong, just as the parenting thing. And I jump in, and this water was cold. I was like, oh, and I hate cold water. From Seattle. My soul left me a little bit. Anyway, you will park here. And there's towns, free. Let's talk free things to do. There, you can get a selfie here in front of the I Love Aruba sign. There's a whole bunch of shops down this strip here that you can shop. If you want to buy discounted or duty-free diamonds, there's stuff to do in and around here. Archaeological museum and whatnot. One word of caution, just in case you have young ones, and some of the gift shops and many of the gift shops in Aruba. You may want to go in there first, making sure that it is family friendly, just to make sure that there isn't anything in there that you wouldn't want your kid to see. I should warn that there are, in some of the gift shops, all shapes and sizes and materials of phalluses. And we'll just leave it there. So if that's something you're not interested in sharing, that's going to be just scout. All right, we're going on to the next gift shop. There were several that just sold clothes, and that's I don't know. I was kind of struck aback by it. Just didn't expect it. Although it is the fun island. What is it? The fun place or the happy place? I forget the mantra, but that's the gist. Otherwise, there's duty-free shopping. In and around here, there was a local market here that we went to. There was quite a bit to do. I mean, there was no shortage of ways to spend money, and that was free. To spend money, you could walk around and do that for free. Otherwise, the excursions, again, land by sea. The only thing I haven't seen yet is a helicopter tour here. But you want to go around in a Jeep, you want to go around in a bus, want to go around in a boat, want to get in and snorkel. You name it, they got it. The Palm Island Snorkel Beach and Aqua Park and Buffet, this will sell out a couple months, or at least it did for us. It was sold out by January when I was going to go in and book it. And that was 3 months early. So if this is what you want to do, I would, and the prices go up the longer you wait too, by the way. It started off at $79. Now the starting price is when it could be inflation. Inflation even hits Aruba. If you don't want to go swim and snorkel, you can hang out butterflies. Otherwise, you got schooners and Jeeps and buses and more Jeeps and 4x4s. Then again, you go scuba, more boats, more Jeeps, more by land and by air, or by sea rather. If you just want to say, hey, listen, I just want to go and just do the top 10. Well, you can. You betcha. You sure can. And so that'll be a lot of fun. And so off to the next Amber Cove, the Dominican Republic. You're going to park out here. And it's going to be a pretty healthy walk down this terminal. Then you're going to hang out, and then you're going to walk in front of your cruise ship. And is there stuff to do for free? Yeah, this little area here. You can go out, hang out, lounge, get in the pool. If you don't want to be in the ship's pool, you can go shopping here. A bunch of little shops. And there's stuff for free. And good pictures in front of the boat. If you have someone who has maybe it just for whatever reason can't walk, for any number of reasons, just doesn't want to walk, there are people on bicycles that can tote up to 2 people. They'll do it, and I'm sure it's for a small fee. I just walk. So let's go back and take a look at some of the excursions. Some of the excursions we've done here is Ocean World, which we highly recommend, and zip lining, which we also highly recommend. And both are 2 different experiences. But we've been to several different dolphin excursions. throughout the Caribbean, some in Mexico. This one is the best because it gives you the most time with the animals. I probably spent maybe 10 minutes with the dolphins, at least 10 minutes with the sharks. I was pretty uncomfortable with the sharks. And then the sea lions. So we did the sea lions, sharks, and dolphins, or you can just do dolphins, or you can just hang out. You'll see all three options here. Or you can just go to the beach and it's all inclusive. Go out to the beach, have fun. Go onto a boat, have fun. Go into a waterfall and have fun on the back of a big one of these mega trucks. The cabanas. They also sell out very, very fast. They sell out the fastest. This was like 6 months. I just booked the cruise. I looked and it was sold out. A couple other cruise lines do go here, so you may not be the only cruise ship in port. So you may be competing with other folks as well. Here's a dolphin, sharks, and sea lion. Highly recommend. They take pictures that you can buy. At the end, we did. It was pretty reasonable. I think it was like $70-$80. Otherwise, you can go on the ATV. We mentioned the zip lining, which I haven't seen zip lining yet. You can go to the top of the mountains. Very, very beautiful mountainsides there. Go hang out with coffee and chocolate, and then you can try some food. The Monkey Land is, we did this out of Puerto Plata. We did the Monkey Land, and they are a lot of fun. I recommend it. Monkey Land is a lot of fun. Just caution that they are not potty trained. And while I dodged a bullet, everyone in my family, there were several members in our group that did not dodge the potty trained bullet. Here's the zip lining. Fantastic. My kid was like, "Hey, Dad, I want to go zip lining, and it'll be a lot of fun." And me and my wife were like, "I don't know." And I was like, "All right." He gets really good grades, so I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And it was the most fun. It was the most fun I could have had. I felt safe, and it was a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Otherwise, water, land, sea. Just I don't know how many different ways to tell you you're going to have fun on this thing. There's no wrong thing. Here's the port where we did the Monkey Land. You're going to pull in right here in like the out of this river, dock here. Free things to do. You got a nice little shopping area in here. Otherwise, that's it. That's that's really it. I guess you could go walking around, but this didn't really strike me as a place. It struck me as kind of industrial. And I don't necessarily know that they intended for anyone to walk around here. So shopping is about it, but otherwise there was no shortage of other things to do at this port, which was similar to the other things to do at the other places here. So there's the dolphins, more beaches, more all-inclusive. You missed out on the last cave or you want to do 2 caves, there's more caves. There's Monkey Land. That's the Monkey Land that we did. Then you got the ultimate adventure where you're driving around and you work yourself up an appetite. You have some lunch. And who doesn't love lunch? Different caves. A tour of the city. You can go out and maybe the cruise port isn't in a scenic area, but you can get an excursion to take you to the scenic area. More beaches, all-inclusive beaches, ATVs. If you don't want to ride on something mechanical, but you don't want to walk, get a horse. So there you go. There's river kayaking. So a lot of fun to be had. So that's 4 stops. Final tips and thoughts here. So on the boat, the best practice is you will have the option to choose early, late, and any time. We chose early dining one time, and which is fine. But some of the entertainment, we missed out on some of the entertainment. So our best practice is we'd actually do any time now. And we book our dinner at our leisure around. We'll wake up and go up to the buffet area and sit out, look at the passing scenery, which is spectacular. And we'll just look at the day's agenda. Hey, this show, what time are their shows? And we'll book dinner around the shows. Otherwise, we'll be eating dinner missing the shows. And when you have a kid, you want to do family-friendly comedy, you're missing it. And they don't normally. It's not unusual for them to only have one family comedy show. So anyway, that was the best practice. That way you get dinner and shows. You might be able to do comedy and a theater show. That's a good day. We already talked about flying in the day before. We talked about Miami and Fort Lauderdale, both servicing the Port of Miami. Hotels have shuttles. Call them to confirm price and availability. What used to be free is, not free anymore. They might have it, though. It might be back. In terms of flying home, I always recommend flying home after 12. If you're flying out of the Port of Miami, you might it's possible to, I do see reports of people, hey, I fly home at 10 all the time, no problem. I always recommend 12. Worst case scenario, you're there with a Starbucks in your hand, relaxing and not a worry. Don't forget about Guy's Burgers if you haven't. That's spectacular. Blue Cantina for burritos and tacos. Of course, you always have the buffet. There's pizza available. No shortage of good eats, good scenery. It's enjoyable. And lastly, if you have a kid and you're interested in the kids club, I know day one's busy with muster station, orientation, finding your way around, finding dinner, etc. But if kids club's a priority, we missed day one time, and the bonding that happens day one doesn't necessarily happen day two, and it's kind of like switching schools in the middle of the school year, and it wasn't a good experience. We haven't made that mistake twice, so I'm just setting up a tip and a trick. So, hey, Carnival Horizon, Southern Caribbean, it's a fantastic time. And I hope you enjoyed as much as we have every time that we've done it. We got another one booked next November. So I'll see you around, see you in the next video, and I hope you travel safe.